Alright guys, Blake here from Aftermath Airsoft, and I'm just doing a quick installation of the Angel Custom Rocket valve for the G17, and also the installation of the Tech hammer. I got another one, I'm just going to show you how to install it. I have the new one in there. I'm going to take it apart, show you guys what to do, and then just put it back inside. This is the old one, so I'm actually not going to use this one. And this is the rocket cylinder valve by Angel Custom. As you can see, it's metal looking. Alright, so right now I'm just going to do a chrono test of the gun, just so you know how it is before. Okay, we're about 310, 311. Okay, so you're going to pull out your loading muzzle, and if you look up close, there's going to be a small Phillips screw right here. You're going to take that out. Make sure the open part is facing down and hopefully close to a table, because things might spring out. Yep. So 3 things are going to come out: the rocket valve, this that goes over it like so, and a spring that keeps the rocket valve pushed. Okay, I'm going to put these 2 off to the side. This is the Tech rocket valve, kind of basic. It's plastic, really lightweight, small. This is the Angel Custom rocket valve. Okay, comparing these, I don't know if you can see these very well. This newest one is metal. I think it's Teflon coated. It's much nicer. There is a small lip. That's not going to be any kind of a problem, because this spring actually fits over it, like so. Just like this one would go against it. And if you can see, there is a sharper angle of this right here than there is on this one. Basically, gas is flowing into this and shooting out the sides of these, pushing your loading muzzle. With this, it's doing it at a steeper angle, so it's actually going to gain a better seal and a better FPS. So that's why I bought it. These, I'll put the link in the description below. I think they're $8 to $12 on Evike. 100% worth it, and I'm going to install it. Okay, so first, take the spring, and you're going to drop it in. Make sure it goes in straight. Next, you're going to take this, the new one, pop that in too. Make sure it goes down inside. Next, you're going to take this, make sure the part that goes over is facing down with the loading muzzle, and you're going to align this screw hole with this screw hole. So what I like to do is I like to hold it in this hand and hold this in this hand and drop it in and put my pinky inside to see that I can align the hole. Okay, that's aligned, so I hold it now so nothing's moving. Take that spring, put it in place, and tighten it back down. Don't do it too tight, you don't want to strip any screw or the plastic that it's housing in. Make sure that's flush, you don't want anything catching. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I like to keep all my old parts, so I'm just going to put it right back inside. Okay. Now, we're going to just reverse order this. Actually, the smartest thing is to just make sure it works. Push down on that, make sure the spring action works. Okay, and it works, everything's good. So we're going to put it back in. rear sight, screw, and just like my old review, I'm using the A&P Tactical Chronograph. Really nice. I think I got it on e-bike. I got it for Christmas. This thing is amazing. It works perfectly. $346. $345. $339. Okay. That rose significantly much and 100% worth the money if you want your gun to basically perform better and be a little bit more reliable. I would for sure purchase this. And if you have any questions on installation, inbox me, comment on this video, whatever you need to do. Just to get started, just let me know and I'll help you out. Okay. So an important tool for any airsoft gun, especially the Glock, is this. This is a real Glock tool for the real Glock, and it is also perfectly useful in the airsoft Glock. It is a Glock brand, if you can see the Glock engraving, punch for any of the holes needed to be punched in your airsoft or real steel Glock. It's metal with a plastic backing, perfect for hammering if you need to hit that, 100% perfect. You can pick this up at your nearest Glock store if there are any. Gun out. You're going to want to get this in just slightly, just to get it started. I've taken this apart multiple times, so it's not going to be as hard for me to punch that pin out, so I actually do not need this hammer. But if yours has never been taken apart, you might need a hammer, so I would suggest getting a hammer. Okay, I'm going to put this in my hand so nothing flies out and I will be able to catch whatever does. And I'm going to push this pin out right here, the top one. Okay, it is going to be hard because there is spring tension all over that thing. Okay, the pin is out. It's kind of shaped like a nail. It has a obvious head on one side. Okay, and now my punch is actually holding everything in place. So again, cup your hand, put this inside completely, and you're going to pull that out. And slowly open your hand, and you're going to see that this flew out. That is fine. That's what's supposed to happen. You're going to put that off to the side. Okay. Now, you're going to drop your hammer out, like so. Nothing else is going to come out. There is going to be this inside. That stays inside unless you need to change that for some reason. This is basically done for now. Put that off to the side. Okay, this is the hammer, and this is the hammer spring. Like I said before, this actually is my old hammer. As you can see, it's a little bit more worn than the new one. Okay, so basically we can just pretend that I just took that out. Now I'm going to put this in the bag. Put the upgraded spring in the bag because I'm not going to use it. If you want to use it, you're just going to install it just like the normal spring, so don't fear that you're not going to know how to install it because I'm not covering it. It's really easy to do, no big deal. Okay, now you're going to take this, you're going to place it in like so, and make sure that it can spin freely. Basically, once that's in, you're good to go. Now you're going to take your spring, and you're going to put the side with the shortest arm towards that, like so. Okay, now you're going to put this down. Okay, this is the part that's probably the most difficult. It basically takes practice. If I do mess up doing this, I'm not going to erase it because just to show you guys that I am human, I mess up also, and to show you that it is not as easy as an edited video would make it seem. So here we go. Okay, this is the part I was telling you guys about. I'm going to use my backstrap pin. And what I'm going to do, this piece right here wants to spring back. So you can see that. and it covers this hole. If it does spring back, it'll cover so nothing can go through here. So what I like to do is I like to move it forward, take the larger side and put it through that hole, like so, kind of wedge it in there, and then I'm going to hold that with one finger. Whatever hand you're going to do it with, just do it. It's not really a big deal. I've found that it helps me a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to take this side, the side without the smooth. So if you look at it like this, and I'm going to take the smaller of the holes and put this right angle part of the spring into that hole, and I'm going to push it against it so it doesn't come out, and I'm going to put this, the tip of this, through the window right here. So what it's basically going to do is it's going to come through and stick out the back like this, and you're going to hold it there, and then you're going to end up putting the hammer in and getting it all together. I'll just show you guys. Okay, so you put this like so, you're going to be pushing it, and it's going to come out the back like this. Okay, this is the part that gets kind of hard to hold everything together. You're going to want to make sure that the biggest of the holes lines up with this hole on the side, and hold it there. And you're going to take your hammer with the longest arm pointed down, and you're going to fit this into the gap in here. So you're basically going to put it in like this with this spring as far up as you can, and you're going to put it in a rolling type of fashion. Okay, so putting it in. Okay, it's not perfectly lined up. I'm going to use my punch to actually align as much of it as I can. Okay, so basically it's all held together right now just by that. That's not very good, but that's just what we're going to have to do for now. Now, take your punch out, take this, and you're going to place it in from this side. So I'm going to slide it in. Once it's in, it actually will drop in if there is enough room. You are going to have to move some things around. Okay, so see like that, it just clicked in, and actually perfectly it pushed out the backstrap pin that I was using, and it went all the way through. That's luck that that happened that well. Normally it doesn't happen that quickly and that easily. I was just lucky that it happened that time. So basically it's going to come together all like this. Right now it's completely together, nothing falling apart. You are going to want to test it to make sure that everything is in line and there's no tension and there's no rubbing on anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the hammer down until it clicks. And you're going to want to test if that is going to come undone. I'll drop it, do stuff like this, and make sure that nothing's actually going to disrupt that, or you're going to end up getting false fires when you aren't even really trying to, or something's actually really wrong inside your gun itself. That's not good. So now I'm going to test that the firing mechanism works. As you see, this is flush now. This is pulled back. This is the part that hits the back of your magazine release. So when that is fired, it is actually in the gun itself. When everything's together, it's put together like this. And when you pull the trigger, you're activating that, which is activating this. So I can actually just kind of show you. When you pull the trigger, this is connected to the trigger, as you can see. When you pull that trigger, you're activating, because this goes together like this. So when you pull the trigger, you're activating this, which pushes like this, and watch here and here. And what you're doing is you are pushing out this firing pin, if you will, into the gas valve, shooting out gas, functioning your gun, making everything work. That's just how airsoft pistols work. So I do it a couple times, make sure everything's good. Just firing it. It is hard to do, actually. Okay, works. Make sure that every time you do pull it back together, that the firing pin is pulled back in. If it's not, there's a bit of a problem. Okay, so if you can see, watch this. As I push this down, it will be pulled in. And that's what you want. Okay, so this is functioning. It's perfect. Now it's time to put it back into the gun. This is the part you're going to have to use a lot of your fingers all at once. That's what she said, I know, whatever. Okay, easiest thing for me to do is to get this spring and put it in where it belongs, right here. And take this and cup the spring and slide this in, and it's going to fit in, and then it'll actually click in. So if it doesn't click, it's not in. It will click and make a clicking sound and then pop itself in. Okay, so there's a slit right here. You can see that. And that's what this goes into. So what you're going to do is you're going to angle it up inside of it. You're going to take this and you're going to put it this way. You're going to angle it up inside, and then you're going to curve it. And that is actually how you do it. And then you're going to end up pushing it in and putting it all together. But I haven't put this spring in yet, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now that spring is held by the wall of the gun, and you're going to want to push everything down. Okay, this still isn't secure, so keep your thumb on top and get that spring, or that screw, excuse me, and put it back in. Just the reverse order, righty-tighty, and not too tight, just in case. And then you're going to take this old pin. Yours will probably be smaller and plastic because you don't have the back strap that I do, so it doesn't really matter. Take your back strap pin and place it back in. Okay, everything's good. Now that's nice and secure, and make sure your hammer does work. Dry firing a pistol without a magazine isn't good for it, so what I'll do is I'll put my finger over that so there's no like hard slap firing going on, and I'm going to fire it, recock it, fire it, recock it, fire it. Okay, so that functions well. As you can see, if you don't really know, the hammer is right here. That's that silver part I was talking about. And when you pull the trigger, this is firing up. And your firing pin is hitting the mag back, this part of the mag, the valve, releasing gas like that into your gun, shooting the BB out. Okay, so now that all works, it's actually basically pretty much it. Take your upper, make sure everything is nice and tight. Now you can retighten this. Make sure everything is flat and flush. Okay. And slide everything back together. Make sure that this racking does feel normal. Make sure there's no swelling of any kind or bend, because we were just dealing with this bottom part. So if that is in any way moved, you're not going to get a clean cycle like you normally would. But for me, mine feels great. It's normal. Everything's good. So yep.